Good morning. I am Ariana Newcomer, Dove Oracle Priestess, and this is Wisdom Wednesdays. What I'm talking about today is intuition and science. And the fact that we have been kind of taught out of, trained out of relying on our intuition, using our intuition, thinking of it as something valuable. And this is something that we work with in the Wise Women Immersion throughout the program, is to reclaim our intuition as an ally and a guide and a very important aspect in our lives. And I recently worked my way through an online course by Greg Braden called Human by Design. And one of the things that he talks about is the fact that many of the big advances in science have come out of someone having an intuition first and then using scientific methods to explore and find out whether their intuition was correct or not. And you've all probably heard the quote that's generally attributed to Albert Einstein, and I'm not going to do it exactly, but we can't solve a problem with the same thinking that got us into it. And so a lot of the quote unquote science that gets done is done within a certain paradigm. They're looking for things that answer a question, but they're only looking within this certain paradigm and not allowing themselves to look outside that, to notice what else is going on that they didn't realize or didn't think could be possible or could be going on based on what they had been taught and the belief frameworks that they have carried. So most of these big advances that we've had have come from looking outside those paradigms, those beliefs. And our intuition is a place that we can do that for ourselves. And intuition is not instinct. Greg makes this distinction in the course. Instinct is something that we do. We instinctively flinch away from a hot stove or a hot wood stove. Those are instincts that kind of come out of our survival instincts. Usually it's coupled that way, survival instincts. They're things that we just do, boom, out of the subconscious, the deeper layers of our brain, so that we can survive. And intuition is a different kind of thing. So intuition is that kind of deeper knowing and something that arises or comes in seemingly maybe on the winds or in a dream, or it comes from sensual or conscious perceptions. Hi, John, Kiefer, hi, Whitney. Good to see you. So at a subconscious assessment in the moment, is not necessarily based on reasoning. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes here. And we can interject what we know in the moment. And so instinct might be, I'm not going into that dark alley, but Greg gives an example in his course of being late for a meeting, knowing he needed to get there sooner. If he didn't go down this particular alley, it was going to take him too long. And he looked and he could see that even though his instinct said, don't go down the alley at night, he could see that it was short, it was well lit, he could see there was no one in it, and he made the choice to go through, and he was fine. So he had an intuition that he could use to then counteract that instinct. So we have many kinds of intuition, and these are deep knowings. These are things like, you know that someone is who it is on the phone before it rings, or you have an instinct to call someone and they call you at the same time. And it's things like seeing something, seeing a kind of vision of how something could be. And we've been taught to discount those and think of those as just, okay, that's just a dream. But what if those dreams, those visions that come to us are the things that actually hold the solutions for the deep problems that we have in our culture right now. So I really, really want us to think about this. I'm really going to encourage you all to reclaim your intuition, reclaim the value of it. Start listening in that deep inner way. We have to get quiet. We have to do this listening without judgment. Take out the judgment that says, oh, this isn't real. It's not a true thing. I can't trust this. And what if we get quiet and we do this deep listening and we allow instead of discounting or judging? What if we allow? And what if we start writing down what comes from our intuition? And what if that actually can give us some incredibly rich solutions for things? Now, I was talking with someone yesterday who was dealing with what she'd been diagnosed with, progressive dementia. And basically her doctors had said there's nothing you can do for this. And it's just not the case. I have been reading about nutrition for most of my adult life. I haven't studied it formally, but I have many friends who are acupuncturists who work with nutrition, or who are functional medicine MDs who work with nutrition and supplements in their practices. It has never made any sense to me why our current medical system, the sort of traditional Western medical system, says, oh, it doesn't really matter. Oh, just have a good diet and you'll get all the nutrition that you need. And don't take supplements. I actually heard one doctor tell my partner one time, the supplements are just like drugs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Supplements, how many people die from supplements every year? Usually 0. How many people die from prescription drugs every year? Thousands and thousands and thousands. So this idea that we have, it supposedly is science, that doctors don't need to learn about nutrition. You know, they take about 2 weeks worth of nutrition courses in 4 or 5 years of training, and they are actually taught to discount it. I've heard a story that that this is because back when prescription medicine first kind of began, the Rockefeller family bought up all the naturopathic medical schools in this country and gave money to medical schools who taught pharmaceutical medicine only. And so they closed the naturopathic schools, and that this is why we have this model. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it'd be an interesting thing to look at. But it doesn't make sense if you think, I can put this pharmaceutical compound into my body and it's going to help when, and that's chemicals, right? That are having chemical reactions in my body, which is a chemical soup. But if I put a nutritional supplement, especially a food-based nutritional supplement in my body, that's not going to do anything. But that's also chemicals. And we're actually feeding our body something that it needs and it can use in the way that our bodies are designed to use them, instead of a artificially created chemical thing, which is designed to target something but always has side effects. You know, the long list of side effects is because things don't work just on a single pathway in our body the way the pharmaceutical medication system would like it to be. Now, I'm not saying we should never, ever take drugs. There are times that we absolutely need them, and it's appropriate. However, one of the ways that we can use our own intuition is think about this. Does it really make sense? Does it really make sense that what I take in, even if it's a supplement, isn't going to help me, but only a drug that's prescribed is going to help me? It doesn't make sense. Right? Our bodies are incredibly intelligent. our bodies have this capacity to create all kinds of chemicals, neurotransmitters, digestive enzymes, red, white blood cells, immune system that helps to clear away diseases. And it is very specific. It gets very specific and targets things extremely specifically. So does it really make sense that we should put just a pharmaceutical something in there and not take things that are actually going to support the natural ways that our bodies work? And this is really the future of medicine. And my friends who are doing functional medicine are working in this realm. They're using it all. It's integral, it's holistic, it's bringing it all together. So let's think about, okay, what other places in our lives do we have these firm set of beliefs that are actually stopping us from being able to do things that are going to solve some of these issues? And I told this woman I was talking with yesterday that there's a specific supplement that I found for my partner, who's 15 years older than I am, and was dealing with some memory issues. It absolutely helped him. It made a huge difference. And there are no medicines for dementia at this point. And there are no medicines that can cure Alzheimer's at this point. What if we give our bodies the building blocks of health? And what if we also use our intuition to be able to turn on our own body's regenerative capabilities? This is something else that Greg Braden was talking about in this course, Human by Design, is that we have the capability of turning on our own inner healing mechanisms, like telomerase, which is the enzyme that repairs the telomeres at the ends of our DNA strands. There are certain brain states that we can create through meditation and through really coming into our hearts and being in gratitude, caring deeply, having that energy then lead us into a brain state in which we can do this kind of regeneration and inner healing. What if it's possible? Our intuition, our inner knowing, will let us know, you know what, that's really true. And yet our teaching, our current paradigm of beliefs will say it's not. So what if? Let's open up again to what if our intuition is going to lead us into the solutions that we need, not just for our inner health and our own particular individual problems, but for our culture at large. Let's bust open the bounds of science that are keeping us locked in the way, a certain worldview, and let's find the solutions that we need for ourselves, our own health, and for our culture at large. If you are a woman who would like to have support in claiming your intuition and developing your intuition, I am currently enrolling into the Wise Woman Immersion, my 7-month group program. The next group will be starting in May, and I will put a link in the comments where you can take a look at the program and book a time to talk with me about it. And also, if you're curious about the supplement that we used, message me and I will message you the information about that. Bye.